So if you're into videography or cinematography at all, then at some point in your career, you're going to have to invest in a good quality fluid tripod system. And if you've done any kind of research or if you've been in the game for very long at all, then you've probably discovered by now that there are a few very high-end, high-quality tripod systems out there made by some very reputable manufacturers, but they also have a price tag that matches that. And then you've probably discovered by now that there's a whole slew of budget-friendly options out there, and it's really hard to decipher whether or not they're actually good quality fluid heads or whether they're just junk. Well, today I'm going to show you guys a tripod that I believe is both high quality and budget-friendly. So let's check it out. So this is the Smooth Camera Gear T6CF. T6 is the fluid head that's on here, CF is the carbon fiber legs. If you watched my recent Panasonic S1 cinema rig build video, which I will link right up there for you guys, then you saw that I highlighted this tripod in there and I told you guys I was excited to do a full review on it, that it was coming, and that I really believe in this tripod as a product. And I can tell you that still stands today, otherwise you would not be seeing this video. So I hope that gives me some credibility in your guys' eyes that I'm not just trying to sell you a tripod. I actually use this and I love it. I actually feel blessed to have this tripod and it has served me well. The T6 is rated for roughly 13 pounds. And just to give you kind of a real world example of what you can put on this is my Panasonic S1. It has the shape cage on it with the top handle. I have the Sigma 24-70 f2.8 millimeter lens on there. I said f2.8 millimeter. 24-70 millimeter f2.8 lens, and the Vodka DP500 Mark III matte box. I also have the carbon fiber small rig 12-inch 15 millimeter rails on there, and I also have the Condor Blue Manfrotto 501 base plate system with the RE mount on the bottom, but I do also have a 501 plate underneath that. And normally I would also have my Atomos Ninja recorder, the Inferno, which is a 7-inch monitor mounted up here on top with either a couple batteries on it or another power system. And I would also have my Deity Connect wireless system on here as well. The Ninja Inferno, I'm actually using that to record on now. But when I have this thing fully decked out, it weighs anywhere between 8 and 10 pounds, just kind of depends on how I configure it. But that leaves me more than enough headroom with this tripod to where I'm not maxing it out. And the reason why that it has a payload is not necessarily that the tripod couldn't handle more weight than that. It more has to do with the counterbalance system on this. And the counterbalance system is really awesome. It's very configurable. It has multiple selections on it. So it actually has an adjustment level from 0 to 7, so 8 different levels of adjustment. And there are a lot of more budget-friendly options out there that have a counterbalance system, but it may only have 1, 2, or 3 different levels of counterbalance. And that can be very difficult because depending on how much your system weighs, if you're not right on one of those marks, then you're either going to be over balanced or underbalanced, and it's just not going to work well. And so by having so many different levels of adjustment, like right now I have it on 5 with this setup, so I do still have 2 different levels to go up from there. But on 5, it balances fairly well. And, I think I put it back in the right spot. Anyways, having a good balanced system is critical because it's going to help you get the footage that you want. So when you're moving this around, I can tilt the camera forward, it's going to stay. I can tilt it backwards, it's going to stay. And that's going to really help you to get that smooth footage, because if this wasn't balanced properly and I tilt it and I'm holding it with my own power rather than allowing the tripod to counterbalance it, then I take the risk of getting little micro jitters in my footage. And especially if you're zoomed in, then you're gonna see that in post and it could really kill your footage. So having a tripod system that can balance very well is very important. And so one of the main things that I really like about this tripod is that it uses the Manfrotto 501 style plate system. And that is very important to me because a lot of my accessories and my gear uses the Manfrotto 501 system. Like I said, the Condor Blue system here uses it, my DJI Ronin S uses it, and so I like to be able to just swap through things very easily. And so that can be done with this. I just simply unlock it, press a button, and that's it. I can take my camera off and it's done. And I can go put it on something else. And I can just come right back over here, sit it right back down, try to get it in the same marks as before, so it's balanced properly. And that's it. It's locked down. And so that simple. And having that side loading plate like that is really awesome. And so when it comes to the fluid system, it's got multiple different adjustments for the tilt and the pan. You've got 4 different levels of adjustment there from 0 to 3. And so on 0, you can see this thing, I mean, it's just smooth. That's very well machined. You feel no kind of friction on that whatsoever. And so I usually have it on either 1 or 2, and you can feel it when that fluid system engages. It's just very smooth from the start. I did shoot a video recently of the Sigma 35mm f1.4. I will link that right up here for you. And pretty much all of that footage, and I think maybe all of it, was shot using this tripod. Some of it I might have added some movement in post just to kind of bring some interest to the scene. But all that footage was shot using this tripod, and it is very smooth. Some people have asked, how did I shoot it? Was it handheld or was it gimbal? Because they know that I'm using the Panasonic S1. But so that will give you some samples of what this thing can do. Another feature that I really like about it is these locking levers. And so they are conveniently positioned. The one here in the front, that's just a good position to be able to lock it and unlock it easily. I can have one hand here on the arm and one hand on the front to where I can easily move it and not disturb my shot. And then also here on the side for locking the tilt. And it is on a 75mm bowl, and it has a bubble level on it that is illuminated. So that is a feature that I didn't realize I would like as much as I do like. You usually have to go to a pretty high-end system to be able to get something like that. And just so you know, this system runs $695. If you wanted to go up to the T8, I believe it's $795. And this fluid head here compares to a lot of the high-end stuff, like the Sachtler FSB6. That's like an $1,800 fluid tripod, or not even the tripod, just the fluid head by itself is like $1,800. So you could almost buy 3 of these systems for what that one cost. And this one, in my opinion, is much better quality. I mean, it's machined very, very well. It looks very similar, but this is 99% metal. And there is like no plastic on it. The only plastic that I've seen is the knob down here for adjusting the bowl, and then also the battery compartment here for the illuminated backlight. But yeah, so to get that illuminated bubble level is usually on the much higher end or much more expensive model, but I didn't realize I would really like that as much as I do. And so I tend to light my scenes a little bit more on the darker side. I kind of like that moodier feel to my videos and to a lot of my work. And so by having that, if I have my camera positioned in an area that's dark, I can just hit that button and be able to maneuver the bowl around so that way the tripod is level, or at least the fluid head is level, and it just helps out a lot. So that is a very convenient feature as well. It also comes with this arm. On the arm, it has matching rosettes that match the fluid head, and the fluid head has it on both sides. But these rosettes here, one of the things that the company really brags about is the fact that these are replaceable. Although I can't see these wearing out very easily because they are very solidly made, but they are replaceable if you do. And I can tell you, I like just about everything on this tripod, even down to the paint. I mean, just the look of this, the powder coating is very good. Like I said before, the legs are carbon fiber. It's a 3-stage system. So, or sorry, 2-stage system. And so you have one main one, and then you have a lower one. And as you can see, I mean, these things, they operate very smoothly. It's very well made. Everything fits together very well. It all just works the way that it should. That's its full height right there. I'm 6'2", just to give you an idea of what this tripod can do. But this is roughly about maybe 5 feet. And when you stick the camera back on here, you can see that's plenty high for just about anything that you're going to need to do. Now, if you need to go higher than this, you know, that's not something that I need to do on a regular basis, but this works for me, and that's pretty high. It can go down to 3 feet, just under 3 feet. I'll kind of show you that here. So, you know, it can go pretty small, and it is very lightweight. That is one of the things that I really like about having this system, is that it is lightweight. I have other systems that are much heavier than this, and they're very bulky, and when you have to move them around, you know, it takes quite a bit of strength to be able to move them around, and especially so you're not going to knock something over or drop your camera or something like that. But these are very lightweight. And they also have this carrying handle on them, so you can use it to lift it as you're moving around and keep it more stable. Here on the legs, it does have these removable rubber feet, which are really cool. Down at the bottom, it has a couple spikes on each leg. So if you're on soft ground or something like that, and you want something to kind of dig into a little bit more, then you have that option, and you just put the rubber feet right back on there like that. That is a really cool feature. I really like that. And then it's also got this lock here that just snaps like that, and that keeps the whole system from opening up, and just really helps to keep things compact. It's also got, this particular one has a mid-level spreader on it. And so this mid-level spreader is fully adjustable. It's also made out of metal. The only thing that's plastic is the little knobs there. And so you can spread these out and be able to get a wider stance on the legs, and that will give you a little bit more stability. And what's really cool about these too is that they do have markings on the spreader that indicate inches, and so it will tell you what distance you're at, so that way you can match all the legs up and keep this thing perfect on the ground. And then it has this little ring that you can just pull on it and close it right back up. I will leave links down in the description below to where you can check this out. Smooth Camera Gear is out of Australia, but they do offer free shipping, and they do offer returns if you're not happy with it. But I don't think that you're going to be disappointed with this tripod. Those links are not affiliate links. I make no money off that, but I do want you guys to have a really awesome tripod system. So I very much encourage you to go check this out. If you have any kind of questions or comments, let me know, and I'd be glad to help you. Other than that, I will see you guys on the next one. Thanks for hanging out.